Hi friends, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Baking Bean. I have been a little under the weather and still am a little bit, but I have been craving, like seriously craving, a good blueberry muffin. So let's make some. I am going to be making mine gluten-free so that I can share them with my family, but the only difference is your choice in flour, so pick any flour you'd like. Go ahead and start off by preheating your oven to 375. My oven runs a little hot, so it's on 370 that you'll notice in the background, but 375 is what you need for this recipe. Today I'm going to be using oat flour. We're gonna go ahead and start by preheating our oven to 375, unless you're me. My oven runs hot, so it's on 370. You know your oven better than anyone else, so shoot for around 375 as best as possible. Today I'm gonna be using oat flour, mainly just because it's what I have open in the house right now. I've been experimenting with a lot of different gluten-free flours, and I actually really like the oat flour, so that's what we're going with today. But use any flour of your choosing, whether that be gluten-free or regular. For the rest of this recipe, you'll need granulated sugar, half and half. Feel free to use milk. I just prefer the richness that half and half brings. Vanilla extract, always. Baking powder, 2 eggs, 2 cups of blueberries, and a half a cup or a stick of butter. Go ahead and soften your stick of butter and add it to your bowl. If you're using unsalted butter, please add in a dash of salt to your recipe. I'm using salted butter, so I'm omitting that, but baked goods need some form of salt in them to add that depth of flavor. I start pretty much all of my recipes with the creaming method, where you put the butter and the sugar in first and then beat it until it's super fluffy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 1.25 cups of sugar into my bowl now and start that process. I've given the butter and sugar about 1.5 to 2 minutes to really fully incorporate with each other, and now I'm going to add my vanilla extract, and as always, vanilla extract is measured only with your heart. We'll go ahead and give that a good mix too. Now we're going to go ahead and crack our 2 eggs into the bowl. Nice. And number 2. Nice. 2 clean cracks. We're gonna go ahead and mix again. I'm gonna scrape down the sides of the bowl and then we'll add in our half and half. I am a firm believer in the wet and dry method, where you add all of your wet ingredients in first and then all your dry ingredients. So we're scraping down the sides of our bowl before we add our half a cup of half and half to finish off our wet ingredients. We're gonna give this a mix, but go very slowly so that all your wet ingredients don't splash out and make an absolute mess of your kitchen. Alrighty, this next step is completely optional, but at this point I like to take a couple good handfuls of our blueberries, mash them with a fork, and add them in almost like a paste into the liquid part of our batter. Again, this step is completely optional. It's totally up to personal preference. I think it makes the muffins look prettier because it marbles some of that beautiful purple color throughout the muffin, and I think it distributes the blueberry flavor just a little bit better. But again, whatever makes your heart happy. We're gonna go ahead and scrape this in here and give it one final mix before we start adding our dry ingredients in. We're now gonna add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And mix again. Then we're gonna add in 2 cups of flour, 1 cup at a time so we don't make a giant mess. And our 2nd cup. Give your bowl a good scrape down and then one final mix. Go ahead and take your bowl off your mixer. We're gonna add the rest of the blueberries and then mix them gently by hand. If you coat your blueberries in a little bit of flour, it'll keep them from sinking to the bottom of your muffins and help them distribute more evenly throughout the bake. So I'm pouring just a little bit of our flour into a Ziploc bag with the rest of the blueberries. I'm just gonna give it a quick little mix up so I can use as little flour as possible. Alrighty, just lightly coated, we're gonna go ahead and add these into the mix. At this stage, we're really folding more than mixing. We don't want to knock the air out of the batter or smash up any more of the blueberries. You do want to have a good bit of blueberries left whole. Alrighty, this is what our finished batter looks like. Now let's divvy them up. To try to keep our muffins as even as possible, to keep a consistent bake throughout the batch, I'm using a 1-inch cookie scoop to divvy up the batter. I'm starting with 2 scoops in each muffin liner, and we'll see where that gets us. One more little optional step. Once you've got all your batter divvied out, I like to sprinkle just a little bit of granulated sugar over the top of each muffin. Not a ton, but it makes a nice little sugary crust on the top that I really like. So go ahead and do that, or omit it if you prefer, and then these will be ready to go in the oven. Alrighty, let's put these bad boys in, and I'll see you in about 30 to 35 minutes. Be good to me. Alrighty, it has been 30 minutes, so these babies are coming out of the oven. Part of the reason I love the sugar topping so much, not only does it give it that beautiful crisp, but it gives it that beautiful golden brown color. We're gonna let these cool in the pan for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna transfer them to a cooling rack and let them cool the rest of the way. Or, you know, until I can't stand it anymore, I eat one scalding hot and burn myself. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, they cooled in the pan for about 5 minutes, and they've been on the cooling rack for about 5 to 6 minutes now, and I think that's about as long as I can wait. Let's see how bad I burn myself, but we've got to try one. Normally I would just go ahead and bite this, but I can literally see the steam coming off of it, so we're going to go with the finger method for now. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but they are so light and fluffy and tender, and it's taking everything in me not to just shove this whole thing in my mouth right now, but I'm trying not to burn my tongue. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, gluten-free optional, crave-worthy blueberry muffins. Thank you guys for being patient with me while I've been under the weather. Thank you guys for hanging out in the kitchen with me today. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe below. And leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see on this channel. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.